I'm a Canadian. My name's Greg. This is Trash Talk, where we go over 5 trash takes. In 5 minutes, we're going to be talking about cancel culture. We're going to be talking about the protests in China versus the protests here in Canada. But let's just jump right into it. First, we have this take from Captain Kobe. Oh, we love our Captain Kobe, don't we, folks? People keep asking me why I have yet to discuss what's going on in China. And as the #1 paid liberal influencer, he's saying that as a joke, it's time I make my statement. That is what an actual dictatorship looks like. So when you say Canada has one, you just look like a fucking idiot. Thank you. This is such a terrible take. I chimed in saying, this is basically what he's saying. Canadians shouldn't complain about government overreach until they get locked inside their apartment buildings and burnt alive. Because if you didn't know, that is something that happened in China with these crazy lockdown measures they had. That was the tipping point. People were locked inside their apartments. There was a fire, and I think 9, 10, or 11 people died. And this is what sparked these protests. You know, and according to this guy, according to cool Captain Kobe, this is, you know, we have nothing to complain about until that happens. Until you get burnt alive in your own home. No, that's only when it's a dictatorship. You know, it's completely crazy. These people who are probably just unaffected by lockdowns, or they don't care to stand up to what our government's doing. I really liked this take as well from Jennifer Say. We never had a China-style lockdown. You know why? Because the people you trashed as freedom lovers wouldn't have it. We resisted. And this is so true. You know, we deserve more respect. What do you think the Trudeau government would have done if we didn't stand up? If the truckers didn't stand up, they would have kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. But of course, they were going to get rid of mandates anyway, right, guys? Yeah, right. All right, moving on. Oh, Tom Parkin, our favorite. So many Ottawa business owners were robbed of their freedom to operate for 3 weeks. This stuff is so hypocritical and mind-numbingly dumb. Anyway, now, if it seems CFIB's Swift backs the occupiers who did the robbing rather than the small business owners she claims to represent. That's sad. So a little bit of background. Swift works for CFIB, which is an organization which is representing small business owners, the interests of small business owners in Parliament and in different levels of government. She said, saddest thing about the whole Emergency Act inquiry is how complacently so many Canadians view giving up their freedoms. Absolutely. And this guy, this journalist, to completely disregard what happened to small businesses for 2.5 years, like, this guy is supposed to be a mother effing journalist. And like, more and more, we should just be calling these people propagandists, because that's what they are. I said, why didn't the businesses in downtown Ottawa just open during the protest? They would have made a lot of money. In fact, the few businesses that were open had lineups, huge lineups, nonstop, freedom fighters. Where can we get some food, please? Like, there was so much foot traffic. People were struggling to look for food down there. I would know. I was there for at least 14 or 15 days. People were cold, looking for places to eat. What authoritative body declared that they must keep their doors closed while an influx of tens of thousands of people are in Ottawa? Tom, you're supposed to ask these questions because you're the journalist, right? But no, we don't care about the truth. A couple comments I liked from Paul Minder Singh on the topic was, how about 2 years of baseless lockdowns, which caused almost 180,000 small businesses shutting down in Canada? It's very obvious. And if you look back, this was Metropolitan Brasserie, which is a business in downtown Ottawa. And they are making a public statement January 31st, Sunday, first Sunday of the convoy. It has been brought to our attention that despite having to make the difficult decision to close our business to our regular customers for takeout and delivery because our property was not accessible, misinformation suggesting that our restaurant was supporting the demonstrations has been shared online. There is obviously a cancel culture, a very, very significant cancel culture within Ottawa. They are terrified to be associated with supporting these protesters, to the point they will shut their doors, not starve the people. That's a little inflammatory, but they will shut their doors and not feed the freedom fighters who are protesting outside because they're afraid of the culture in Ottawa that they might be banished. They might be, persecuted socially for daring to make money while tens of thousands of people are walking around. This comment from this business who's terrified to be associated with the protest, I think is very significant. It speaks to this weird, creepy energy coming from Ottawa that we've been seeing, especially during the convoy, where like, how dare you represent people who would protest us government workers? You never protest the government workers, right? As I've said before, it smells very authoritarian. And hey, what do you know? Speaking of getting something from the government, federal government will provide up to $20 million to Ottawa businesses shuttered by protests. So, you know, what are you guys complaining about, right? The government's just going to take care of you guys as they always do. But yeah, F the people protesting for freedoms, right? They haven't even died in an apartment fire yet. Why are they complaining? But the Ottawa people will probably say that, you know, the noise pollution in their apartment for people complaining about freedom, that's worse than dying in a fire, probably. That's how ridiculous some of these Ottawa people are. I love everyone, but these Ottawa people, man, I don't know. I'm just messing around. I wanted to throw this in here, a tweet that got really popular. Anti-freedom convoy folk might be the most ignorant and hateful group in the country, quite literally. They seem really dumb and uninformed. And speaking of dumb and uninformed, we got Glenn McGregor. He is a journalist from CTV National News. He's from the Parliamentary Press Gallery. He tweets out, at the UnderArmour store at the Tanger Outlet Mall in Canada. That's right, guys. It's a sweater with the word freedom on it. This is concerning. This is a scoop. According to this journalist, this is a scoop. Oh my God. UnderArmour putting this logo, putting freedom and a maple leaf Canadian flag over here. What a total thought crime that is. Even Libs of TikTok, which has a huge following, chimed in. This is hate speech. Literally shaking. Did you survive? And then Lee Stewie, shouts out to Lee Stewie. She posted this, which is, what does the UnderArmour freedom mean? UA Freedom is an UnderArmour program that supports the efforts of the Wounded Warrior Project, whose mission is to honor, raise awareness, and aid wounded veterans and military service members. It's funny when us critics, like Lee Stewie, like the Ferryman's Toll, like myself, are critical of these journalists. You know, it's like, because the journalists aren't doing their job. So we have to. It's like you're going to post this photo, like concern trolling about the word freedom on a sweater, but you're not going to even like look it up, which probably took Lee Stewie or the Ferryman's Toll 2 seconds, and you call yourself a journalist. It's clickbait. It's stupid. It's silly. Here's another trash take to add in. I don't know who this is, but maybe this was ironic, but it's hilarious. Wow, they just lost my business. I don't know if this person is serious or not. I chimed in saying, thank you for covering this very important story. It's such an important story. This sweater that says freedom on it. And I think it's interesting that this journalist is focusing on this clothing line instead of this clothing line, which is Balenciaga. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet. It's really, really disturbing. This is like this is like part of their imagery, which is kids holding like BDSM teddy bears and stuff. Lot of weird stuff, like using children. And apparently there's like in this document, there's a reference to, I won't say it out loud, but it says it right here. So yeah, you want to be critical of UnderArmour for this, but you don't want to talk about something like this, and what this brand is up to. I guess not. This is the designer, by the way. I won't show the full image because it's quite disturbing, but this is the chief designer for Balenciaga. Again, there's a lot to this story if you're a journalist, if you want to look into it. I really like this take from Blair White as well. If Balenciaga did something that offended the LGBT community, every celebrity would have cut ties instantly. They promoted child blank, and nearly every celebrity is silent. Really makes you think, huh? And this was a hilarious one from the Babylon Bee. Baal distances self from Balenciaga. For those who don't know, Baal is like a god of child sacrifice or something. That's really funny, Babylon Bee. Moving on to the next one. This is not necessarily a trash take from Holly Doan. She's the person who runs Blacklock's Reporter, which is like a really, really great insider news But she was promoting or sharing this poster at Carleton University talking about the journalists who are facing online hate. You got people from Toronto Star, you got people from the Hill Times, you got Marco Mendocino there. You know, it's an event grappling with the upsurge in targeted online abuse facing journalists. Targeted online abuse. And of course, I just commented, does this count as targeted online abuse? This is the front page of Toronto Star saying, I honestly don't care if they die. You know, this is referring to unjabbed people. Here's another one. Clip surfaces of Trudeau calling the unjabbed extremists, misogynists, you know, very dehumanizing, name calling. This is from Rachel Gilmore. Ask a family member if they're jabbed to determine basically if they should be going to your Thanksgiving or not. Like the implications of these articles are crazy. This is from National Post. More than 1 in 4 Canadians support jail time for the unjabbed, poll finds. Yeah, does this count as targeted online abuse? I wonder why the Canadian public is criticizing journalists. Maybe it's because they're writing absolute trash. Maybe it's because they are contributing to the social and public divide happening in Canada. Just a thought. Is this event that's being run, is this event going to talk about, like, is there going to be any accountability on the behalf of journalists? Like, are you guys going to talk about, could we be improving? Maybe there's a reason. Maybe there's a reason people hate us. Are you going to have any self-reflection? No, didn't think so. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. If you want to support my work, there's donation links below, and love you guys.